first I want to start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to run into a big problem coming right up soon. China is attacking it wholesale. They're attacking it with everything that they have. They're trying to knock it down. They're attacking. First, they attacked the ICOs, and then they attacked the exchanges. Now they've attacked the exchanges, and they're going to be attacking the people who try to even transfer Bitcoin back and forth in and out of the country on different websites and stuff. They're setting up an iron curtain when it comes to Bitcoin, the Chinese, but there's more. The next thing that they're going to strike, their next target, is a big one. And they haven't done it yet, but it's really big. What it is 70% of the world's Bitcoin mining is in China. Now, Bitcoin mining is what verifies the network. So when you send a Bitcoin transaction across the internet, it relies upon the miners to verify the transaction. Now, there's two things that'll happen if the Chinese attack the mining interests. And believe me, the Chinese government is not like the government over here in the West. Over here in the West, they could have miners, and the miners could move from one warehouse to another, and you wouldn't be able to find them, and so on and so forth. And it would be hard for the government to stop them if the mining was done here in the West. But the Chinese government is much more efficient. They know where all these miners are, and the Chinese people are more obedient. They will stop when they're told to stop. So 70% of the mining in China is done, and the network is done in China. If the Chinese government attacks the mining network in China, they could actually cut off 70% of the world's mining, thereby disabling 70% of the ability for Bitcoin to complete network transactions. What that means is it would create very possibly create a bottleneck in the network transactions of Bitcoin. Now, you're saying, what does this mean to me? Well, what it means is the only reason a Bitcoin is really worth anything, really, is because you can use it to transfer value like a currency. You can send a Bitcoin across country and pay for something, or you can send a Bitcoin into the exchange and transfer it for money, or you can send a Bitcoin in and you can transfer it for different items, or you can send Bitcoin back and forth across the network. But if your Bitcoin is locked in your wallet and you can't move it, suddenly the value of Bitcoin would drop astronomically in what it's actually worth if Bitcoin can't be moved. And what I'm trying to say is the next thing that the Chinese are going to do is they're going to attack Bitcoin by this is going to be their next move, is to attack the miners. Now, will 70% of the Bitcoin mining network going down have an effect on blocking most transactions, so that most transactions take days, if not weeks? Even a fast transaction might end up taking many hours, 7, 8, 10 hours, even if you pay extra. Right now, if you pay extra, your transaction goes through within 10 minutes. This could cause a bottleneck in all Bitcoin transactions, thereby making the investors extremely nervous during this period and making them dump Bitcoin like never seen dump Bitcoin before. Bitcoin could lose tremendous value. What I'm thinking in my mind is that Bitcoin would ultimately jump back from this, because what would happen? I'm going to explain to you what would happen, because I've been a miner, so I know about stuff like this. If the Chinese completely stop 70% of the mining in China, the Bitcoin difficulty is going to drop. Big time. The difficulty will drop. And believe me, my mining hardware has been cobwebbed. I got it sitting in the corner with cobwebs on it. Believe me, and there's a lot of other guys like me, because right now it's not profitable because of the Chinese miners. It would take a little while. It would take a few weeks, 2-3 weeks, for us Western miners to get back up and running again. You know, it would take a little while. But if that, I daily, hourly, I watch that difficulty on Bitcoin. And because of those Chinese miners, the difficulty is so high that it's not profitable. But if all of a sudden they pull away from the network, believe me, I'll be blowing the cobwebs off of my mining machine, you know, or mining machines. In a fraction of a second, I'll be blowing the cobwebs off of them, and so will a lot of other miners here in the United States. So the slack will be if the Chinese decide to attack in this next manner, which I expect them to attack. I'm expecting this is next, and they knock 70% of the network down. It's going to attack the price of Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin is going to plummet. But on the other side of this coin, the network will come back up and running from the people over here in the West, in the Western world. We will take up the slack of the mining. So the mining will come back. And when it comes back, so will the price of Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin will come roaring back. The Chinese are just cutting themselves out. That's all they're doing by attacking. And this would be their last thing that they could do. This would be their last attack that they can launch. After that last attack is over, of course, the price is going to roar back. You know, and what could they drive it down to if they freeze up the network by locking up all Bitcoin transactions, by cutting 70% of the network traffic? For a limited period of time, they might drop the price down to maybe $500 a Bitcoin, because all the other investors will panic. And of course, these people who hate Bitcoin, you know, that are out there who are saying it's nothing more than a tulip mania and all this kind of stuff, they'll be chanting up and down the street, yelling, "We were right, we were right, we were right," dancing a victory dance, thinking they were right. But all it is going to be temporary, because it's going to be something that the Chinese have manipulated. And this will be their last attempt at manipulating, because I don't think they got anything up their sleeve left once they fire this last gun, which would be to take the miners offline. But you get it here, you get it here first. That's their next ploy, the Chinese, is to attack the mining network of Bitcoin. So listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we will catch you in the next video. Bye.